Good morning, traders, and this is your Dax day trade setup for today. So we have another day of, I suppose not another day, this is the first real range bar that we've seen. We've had some gap downs and then rallies for 2 days in a row, and now we have pretty much a range bar. So I think the potential here is that we may have a double top forming, or alternatively, this is pretty much just going to range in this area until we get some resolution from the politicians. So the market was waiting for an intelligent speech from Donald Trump yesterday. That didn't really happen. There's no clarity on the trade war and when they're going to get together to sort it out. So, yeah, I think what you need to do is be very cautious about this. Okay, so at this stage, if you look at the weekly, we've kind of got an inside bar brewing on the weekly of the last week. So, yeah, this bar here last week is starting to look like an exhaustion bar to me. The only thing that is putting me off saying it's an exhaustion bar is the fact that we've got a green bar at the moment, and it could very well be that we just break above. Okay, but yeah. Okay, so looking at the 3 hour, so you can see where the double top is brewing. See, we closed off with a lot of indecision, so a lot of confusion yesterday. Buyer stepped in, we broke through the alligator again, and buyer stepped in on the retest, and then it fizzled out at the previous high. Okay, this little picture here is what concerns me. So I have diversions. So price is making pretty much a new high or a double top. You can see this bar is higher than this one, but the oscillator is making a low. Okay, that's diversions. That normally coincides with a move to the downside. So if we look at the daily is also a little bit tired, especially when you look at the oscillators here. Okay, and in fact, let me just quickly shoot across to my stochastics. And if you see my stochastics here, they're grouping on the daily, which is an indication that we are extremely overbought at the moment. Okay, so I want to see a close with the Williams percentage R below the negative 20. That's going to trigger a couple of signals to the short side. Okay, so let's just quickly get to the levels we can trade. The hour, you can see we've had pretty much a break here. So I took this. We took this break as a long yesterday, and I got trailed out as soon as we broke through this level here. Yeah, so yeah, for me at the moment, through the alligator back retest, pretty good indication that we were going to move to the upside. And I was also treating this, and I think I should still be treating this as a consolidation or a wedge, and we've had a breakthrough. So it is possible that we can come back and test this and then move to the upside. Okay, so that is kind of still on the cards as well. And the last thing here on the hour, which is a little bit concerning, is there's a fractal, that's my trend line. We've had a close, well, break below it, and then we've moved back up the close to test it. Now the question here was this short sellers taking profit, or was it buyers scaling in? If I look at the futures market at the moment, the DAX is down 0.3%, so 13,227. And that is somewhere around here. 225, 226, that's good enough. So we're kind of hovering here in the gap at the moment. Okay, the important thing is that's through this trend line properly. Okay, so with that in mind, and the picture that we see, let's get to the 30 minutes. Buyers stepping in here off this area here, which is the previous gap. is possible, okay, that is also possible that they extend as far as 13,198 or 13,200. Okay, that would make quite a bit of sense. I just want to check if there's another one. No, that would make the most sense. Okay, so we're currently gap down. I would expect gap close. It would test this trend line break. Okay, and this one down here would be the ultimate test, 13,198 or 13,200. So I'd probably look at 13,202 just to be safe. That would be my entry point, and my stop with that trade is going to be below here, which is 13,140. So that's a 70-point stop loss. Okay, so there is a little head and shoulders here as well. Shoulder, head, shoulder, and the neckline is there, which we've closed below. So I definitely think we're going to have probably a gap down. But it's pretty much the same setup as the last 2 days. Is gap down, find a level to tag, and then climb from there. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment. I am looking at longs. The trend is to the upside. There's no reason to get out of this. Doesn't matter which of the higher time frames you look at. So 4 hour is still very much an uptrend. 3 hour is still very much an uptrend. We never broke through the alligator. And the daily is also a very strong uptrend. Okay, we are at a fairly strong level as well. So you can see there's our monthly level there, and look how close we are to the all-time high. So I don't anticipate, I mean, this last 3 months has been a very strong move. Yes, we are overbought, but I do anticipate still moving up until we get either match the all-time high or get a new all-time high. Okay, so that's kind of my view for this morning. Expect a gap down. You've also got a gap from in the day as well that needs to close. So you've got a couple of gaps to the downside, which will be magnets. Get your levels drawn in, and that's the area that you want to be looking for longs again. Okay, until the trend changes on the 4 hour, long it is. Just trade with the trend. Right, let's just move across to the ichimoku, and looking at the 12 hour, we've got a bearish cross, we've got Chico span through price, and we've got a twist. So we've got 3 bearish signals. So what you should be looking for is a break below any one of these bars here. So you get a 12-minute close below this bar, that would trigger your shorts. Okay, so the fact that we're probably going to get a gap down at the moment, probably close that gap and the gap below, that'll push us below the cloud. So 12 minutes is looking bearish. 30 minutes looks like it's rolling over. Okay, looks like we may get a cross here, but there's lots of different structures at play at the moment. So there's a measured move which closes this gap to the downside. As which one is that? Oh, that's the one in the day doesn't close. The next one, and that is 12,237. Price is currently below that. 12,225. So price is below that. So this measured move is more than likely going to play out or played out already. So that brings us to the next gap, and also these swing lows here. You want to put those levels in. Get rid of that one, get rid of that one. Right, so those are the levels we're looking to the downside at the moment, and you can see that is pretty much on the cloud for the half hour. So that would still be bullish. The 1 hour, different picture. You've got Kijinson here. So that would be a good area to be buying off, as well as a cloud. And you can see all 3 of these levels are inside the cloud. Okay, so you would expect this is cloud represents resistance or support in this case. Sorry. So you would expect price to bias to step in off this area here. Okay, looking at the 4 hour, lo and behold, that ties up with Kijinson and Dickinson as well. So that is a buying area. Trend is very strong to the upside at the moment. This, at the moment, what you see here is pretty much the potential for a double bottom, or double top, sorry, or alternatively a range. Okay, so bottom line is we need to break above the high here of 13,296 for us to get going, and if we break below 13,147, then you have a potential trend change brewing, but you still got a cloud test down here. You've got some magnets to the downside, and if I just move the block down, move the downside, would definitely target this gap close here. Okay, but obviously first it's going to target that area and then potentially the gap close. Okay, but even that move would give an opportunity to buy because it's still in an upward trend. Okay, and then the daily, I mean, there's nothing really out of... the only thing we do have on the daily is we've got Kijinson starting to flatten out. But this trend is very strong to the upside until it starts changing on a 4-hour time frame and you get the confirmation this trend is going up. Okay, so that's what we trade, is we trade with the trend to the upside until that changes. And unfortunately, the only thing that's going to change this trend right now on the 4-hour is a break of 13,143 or 13,140. We're going to need a break below that and a 4-hour close below that before we can say the trend is changing. Okay, so that's my view at the moment. Still looking for longs. A little bit wary, as we should be, but draw your levels in. There is a gap to the downside that is a fairly good target to look at. Okay, there is an inside tail here which we've broken through, this one here. You can see we broke through. We never really tested that break, so 13,205, 13,200. That would be a good area to be looking for longs, and then what you're looking for is a stop below 13,143. Okay, a break below 13,143, that's going to trigger quite a big move to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.